in real life.
Man, hey guys, we got to say what's up to the one and only Grammy Award winner. Brian McKnight is up in here. What's up, man?
What's happening?
How you been?
I've been good. I can't complain. Things are, I mean, there's a lot I could complain about, but I'm not a complainer.
Right.
You know, we're in the middle of this pandemic, and with all the information and disinformation that's happening, you know, we just kind of sitting around waiting for it's a tough situation to be in where you don't really have control of certain aspects of your life when you've had autonomous control for so many years.
Yeah.
You know,
very true.
makes it very difficult to wake up in the morning, look at the news, see what's happening, and trying to figure out with people that you don't trust.
Right.
Well, let me. I don't know.
Some of them, not all.
I don't know them. It's hard for me to trust people that I don't know, even if they're on television. That's a, you know, they're appointed in these positions. I didn't appoint them. You know, some of these people I don't think we could have voted for, if I'm not mistaken. So how do we, you know? But that's a whole different discussion. So basically, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, man. I guess we, you know, some of us used to laugh at Michael for wearing. Michael Jackson used to wear the mask going out. Now we all are wearing the mask going out.
Michael early. He knew something we didn't know.
Right.
For those of us who are wearing them, the crazy parts are the people that aren't wearing them. And then you have to ask yourself, well, do they know something I don't know? Are they stupid? Are they, you know, it's different in different parts of the country. So, you know, these last couple of months have been crazy. I think the next couple of months are going to be even crazier than what we've seen so far.
Yeah. Hey, man, incredible song here about your wife, your wedding, nobody, man. I mean, dude, you know, I don't try to tear up, but that was one of those songs make you be like, especially the video with you up there. I'm like, man, come on, bro. I'm trying to hold it in too, man.
You know, we sat on that footage for 3 years because we don't live to post. We post after we live.
There we go.
And we weren't sure that we wanted people to know everything, even though we do a pretty good job of letting you know how our life is. Leilani and I, we really don't like social media like that. We don't. We like to live our lives, and then occasionally we'll, you know, send a video or something. I'd rather just show her eating. Those are my favorite videos we do when she's eating. And what's crazy is those are the posts that get the most likes. But that video of our wedding, I can't watch it because I cry every single time. I cry.
Wow.
I cry because I'm remembering the moment. I'm crying because I am so in love that you can't imagine. If you've never, and I don't know the two of you this way, if you've never given yourself to someone, and I know I wrote about love songs my whole career, but I never believed that love existed. Love doesn't
really?
Get out of here. You was acting all that time, Brian.
It's not that I was acting. I think that we get an idea of what life is like by watching movies, by reading books, by looking at other people's lives. I never liked anybody. You know, I was conditioned to believe you're supposed to be with somebody at some point. If I had known my wife was coming when I was 42, I would have been a virgin. I would have never kissed anybody. I would have never touched anybody. I just didn't know that she was coming. So the minute she came into my life was the first time I ever felt my heartbeat. I didn't think I had one. I thought I was Spock, and I loved being Spock. Spock.
Oh, okay, so you liked that position at one point.
Yeah, well, I liked it from the standpoint that no one was worthy of having my emotional anything. It was all the same. It was all the same, whatever it was. For my friends, for every guy I respected, even the older guys. No guy ever told me, man, one day you're gonna meet a girl and she's gonna do it for you. They were all still players like everybody else that I knew. But when Leilani walked into my life, I knew that something was different. I knew that I had to be different. I knew that the man that I wasn't gonna even have a chance with this mermaid angel goddess. And thus ended the life of Brian that everybody else knew. And this Brian emerged and has been ever since.
So was love at first sight, or was this something that you kind of grew into?
Have you seen my wife?
No, I haven't seen her. Is she there?
She's somewhere around here.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
come to the camera, Leilani.
It was absolutely love at first sight. Absolutely.
Where were you guys at when you met?
We were, so I had invested in a fitness club, and I was at a fitness convention, and she was taking a hiatus from her real job, and she was doing a calendar for Hawaiian Tropic. My wife is from Maui. She's Hawaiian. And she was there signing autographs on that calendar. She walked down the aisle, and I knew it right then. I just hoped that on some level, this woman who could have anybody would even talk to me. Even, spend 5 minutes, have some coffee with me, something. So, I got my wish, and I spent the next year chasing her because she wasn't even gonna hold my hand. She didn't even know who I was. She knew who Brian McKnight was, but she didn't know the guy standing in front of her was Brian McKnight. So I took her to my concert, and I thought, when she saw me sell out the Hollywood Bowl, that was gonna do it. That didn't do it. She was like, "Thank you, that was nice." And she
I like that about her. Yeah,
Oh, that was cute.
we dated for a year, and then when she finally gave in to me, I was done. I was through. That was it. She lived up to every expectation, and then some. I couldn't draw her better. That's how beautiful my wife is.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
That's real love.
And now you can hear. I know you hear your boy like, "I told you so. I told you one day it was gonna happen. I told you."
No, I told you I never had a boy like that.
So, no, you didn't have one like that.
No,
you said they were all players, Sam.
They was
Everybody
all
was players.
players. Nobody never. Man, y'all guys, come on now. Somebody gonna do it, and they did it for you.
Well, see, they didn't have a Leilani. I call it now. If you have a Leilani, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that you don't, brother, because I don't know you like that, Sam, but I'm telling you, if you don't have one, when you find your Leilani,
I'm good. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So look, I want to find out, is this true? Because I didn't believe it. I was told that you were talking about retiring from music. That can't be true.
So I'm not retiring. I'm just not making any more records. So I'll still do shows, and I'll be around, and I'll write music, and I may produce. Some of those people are already calling me. It's like, you just released your last record, right? Well, can I have some of them songs you're not gonna put out? So I'll be around. I'm not retiring, and I am. I'm saying this right now the way I feel. I'm not gonna make any more original records, but you never know what may happen in the future. But I like the idea that we wake up every day and we do whatever makes us happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to be defined by, not by our jobs, not by, what we do, but by, what makes us happy. And I love waking up every day. I get up first thing before my wife gets out of bed, and I come in here and I make her coffee and I bring it to her, and she smiles. I say, "What else can I do for you today?" And that's how I want to live every day the rest of my life.
That's awesome. So, okay, 20 albums in, with that much time, and you're like, you just know so much about the industry. I could see you on one of these shows where you're like, these shows where they're picking the artists, coaching. Could you see yourself doing one of those, like The Voice or something?
Of course. Doesn't that look like the easiest money you could ever make?
Especially for somebody like you. Yes.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Pay me. Yeah. No. In a heartbeat, that'd be the perfect transition moving forward. Yeah.
But we need people to teach that the essence of R&B, because you have these new folks coming in. R&B is a little different now than it was, and I think the way you're talking about love, I'm like, I think these young boys are still in that player phase, but trying to talk about love.
Well, I think we're doing a disservice not only to the young musicians of today, even to my era, that we called it R&B. When I think of R&B, I think of James Brown, and I think of the Temptations, and I think of Robinson. And nobody in my era did music like that. What we never did was decide to call today's music something else, to give respect to those that came before us and to also respect who's making it now. These kids are only making the music that they know how to make. And they're doing it really well because there are so many people that are patronizing it. We can't sit back and be the older folks who want to scoff at these things and say, "Oh, well, that doesn't sound like R&B." You're right. It doesn't sound like R&B. It sounds like what it is. We just haven't decided to call it something else.
Never thought about it like that.
Yeah. So what's up with the sets at the crib, man? You just in the evening, you just like, "Hey, let me go live right quick." When
you're putting out a new record, You
Yeah.
have to let as many people know, especially in your core fan base, know that it's out.
Mm-hmm.
I think that what we think is because we have followers, all they're doing is sitting around waiting for us to post. They like other people too. They're
Right.
looking at all the hashtags they love to, and you almost have to be, and this is something I've had to really make myself do, because I don't want to feel like I have to make you like my music or make you remember me. But if I don't do that, you're not going to remember me. You'll remember me like, oh yeah, Brian McKnight, not, oh yeah, Brian's got a record coming out on Friday. So,
Mm-hmm.
and when you look at the numbers, the more you do it, the less people that like it. So you have to kind of really walk that fine line of, am I doing too much? Am I doing enough? And, you know, then you figure it out. But now that the record's out, I'm not sure if you're going to see as many lives as I've been doing.
Okay, go pick it up. Pay for it.
But what we're going to have to, as an industry, figure out very soon is how to get people engaged and actually pay for things again, because our industry is one of the only industries where we love to give away things for free.
Yeah.
You know?
Versus back in the day, it was every Tuesday. You know, everyone was running to the excited about actually having something in the hand.
Yeah,
you know.
but also not being able to do shows where, you know, 90% of your income comes from that has to be something that we all have to start thinking about, particularly if they have now opened things up and now they're shutting down things again in certain parts of the country, as we were thinking that things were about to turn around. You know, it's something that you have to really think about.
Have you so that case you have thought about performing maybe a concert at the crib?
Well, I did one thing for Keith Sweat Live last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I think people are starting to think about how to engage this kind of way, since shows aren't necessarily happening. So I think we'll see in the next few months, somebody's going to figure it out. At least that's what we're hoping anyway.
Right.
They will. Y'all got to get y'all money.
Yeah.
Well, that's everyone though. I mean, I'm not only saying it for our industry. As you look around in my neighborhood, everybody's home. So if you don't have the kind of job where you can actually do it from a satellite or from home or through the internet, what are you doing? And what does that say about people that actually have those kinds of jobs where you do have to be present? You know, as a country, as the world, our economy has been hit ridiculously by this whole thing. So somebody will figure it out though, I think.
Yeah.
So who are you listening to now? Who, since you've been in quarantine, who does Brian McKnight listen to?
You know what? I listen to the same 5 to 10 records I've been listening to since I was 13. Yes,
Really?
Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder, Steely Dan. Those are the records that made me what I am. And the essence of who I am is still in those records, whether it's James Ingram, whether it's Kenny Loggins, whether it's Shirley Murdoch or early Whitney Houston records or Prince and Michael Jackson. Those records, when you put them on, they've stood the test of time. Marvin Gaye. And I'm a huge jazz head, so I play trumpet. Miles Davis is always playing. Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, all of those things that when you listen to it, sounds like they could have recorded it yesterday. Now, there will be some Post Malone in there. There might be, some of this new stuff too. But the beauty of streaming is you can just put one person in, and it'll play all the stuff that sounds just like that.
That's true.
Right.
I may not know who it is. I may have to go over there and actually look and see what it is, but. Most of the time we're streaming, movies. We've watched every movie on Netflix. We've watched every movie on Hulu. We watched every movie on Disney Plus and Apple Plus. And
right.
So we got to figure something out soon because we watched everything twice.
Right.
Like everybody else.
Right. We've been through it.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, let me ask you this, man. Do you remember your first time you performed, your first show? Your first audience, and how was that?
You mean as a professional or just?
Yeah, as a professional, yeah. You got that break.
Yeah, I remember my first promotional tour where it was just me and a piano, and they took us around to all the major markets, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, LA, and playing for folks for the first time. That was an industry thing, but if you can get those folks clapping and get them excited, I think you may have something. And I remember people sort of marveling at 20 years old at the things that I could do. And it gave me some confidence into thinking that it was really possible to make a career out of this. Cause I wasn't sure. I always thought that I'd do this and then I'd play pro basketball at some point. I could
get out of here.
I could transition back to my other dream. But I ended up writing hit records, and that dream never got realized. So.
Wow. So you can ball, but you're telling us you can play some ball.
I won't tell you that. I think if you ask around, people will tell you that at one point in my life, I may have been good enough to sit the bench for one of those teams.
Wow. Multi-talented out here.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, Brian, we appreciate you, man, taking out the time to holler us, man, and keep doing what you do, man, and just love what you're doing, man.
Thank you so
love
much.
what you do.
Appreciate you. All right.
Anytime, man.
Thank you.
One time. Yep.
All right, Suzanne.
All right.